What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot here with a brand new Netflix review, and this time it's for the new Netflix film premiering today called The Laundromat, directed by Steven Soderbergh, and has a pretty amazing cast. We're going to get into all the positives and negatives of this movie and let you know if it's something worth streaming on Netflix and give you my score at the end of this video. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all of our reviews for movies, TVs, trailer reactions, unboxing, and giveaways. So definitely subscribe. And if you've seen this film, let me know in the comments what you thought of this movie. If you like it, if you didn't like it, let me know in the comment section. With that being said, let's get into this review. Basic premise of this movie is you have Meryl Streep's character who goes on this dream vacation, which suddenly takes a very wrong turn, a dark turn, a tragic turn, and it leads her down this rabbit hole, which leads her to this company in Panama. It's a law firm that has a lot of shady dealings with their partners and their clients. So jumping into this film, I knew very little about it. I saw a little bit of the trailer that dropped a month ago on Netflix and just saw the cast, I saw the director, and I was very intrigued. But as far as the premise and what this movie is about, I knew nothing about the Panama paper leaks, which took place, I believe, 3 years ago, 2016. So after watching this, I kind of went in my own rabbit hole and figured out more about the film. And it's very, very intriguing. But we're not here to talk about what went on with that per se. Let's talk about this movie. As far as positives go, the cast is really what drew me to it, and the director. Like I said, I mean, you have Meryl Streep's character who, from the beginning, in the first 10 minutes, you're like heartbroken for what she's going into. And everything that Meryl Streep brings to the screen, whatever she's in, whether it's a comedy, drama like this, you know, whatever she's in, she's great. I just think she just has this presence to her. And personally, I think she's the best actor working today, male, female. She's one of the best that's ever done it. And I just love her. Whatever she does something, even if the movie isn't the greatest, I always think she brings something to her character and brings just something to the film, even if the film isn't the greatest. And that just goes to say with everyone in the cast, from Meryl Streep to Gary Oldman, you have Antonio Banderas, you have Jeffrey Wright. I'm looking at this laundry list here. Robert Patrick, you have David Schwimmer and Sharon, and the list goes on and on. Everyone that had a small role or a big role, like Meryl Streep and Antonio Banderas and Gary Oldman, who were mostly the leads of this film, they did the most they could with their characters and what they had with the script. So I definitely applaud them. As far as the direction of the film, it was okay for the most part. When the structure of this film is very unique. It's split up in 5 chapters and being narrated by 5 different characters. And within those 5 chapters, there's something you can pluck out of the storyline, or whether it's a performance or a certain dialogue or what's actually going on the screen. You can take away some positives from that. And I like that aspect of the film, that we get these different perspectives and these different characters that were involved in this crazy story. So I definitely enjoyed that. And there's some themes you could definitely pull from the story that you can relate to, and just really makes you think and just kind of look at us as a society, from, you know, saving money, from trusting strangers, and even trusting your family with money, and as well as themes of what people will do to screw you over to benefit themselves or protect themselves, and the things that people will do from the lengths to protect them from their wrongdoing. So there's a lot of themes you can pull from this story, as well as just, you know, picking out things that we see in our everyday lives in today's society, and the political things that we see on television. So there's a lot that you can pick from this film that I think you could take away and be like, that was really well done at a sense from an hour-and-a-half standpoint. But then we're going to jump into the negative. So again, very excited for this film, and I applaud the acting and the directing was at its best. But this film's a mess. You know, again, I told you this film is broken down in 5 different chapters, and you would be intrigued on one chapter. You get Meryl Streep and her things that she's going with, and then you would jump over to this family in Africa, or that's from Africa and then live in America. Then you jump from, you know, Antonio Banderas, and you find out about him and Gary Oldman's relationship and their background, and then you have them breaking the fourth. I mean, the story is literally all over the place. Again, when you have these type of movies, this film reminds me of a Big Short, of a Wolf of Wall Street, where, you know, they're breaking the fourth wall, they're explaining to you what's going on, and kind of going more in depth as far as exposition goes. And sure, that style works for certain movies, but for this film, it did not work at all. It literally threw me out of the movie when they would introduce a new chapter and introduce this fourth wall breaking between our 2 main leads with Antonio Banderas and Gary Oldman, and it literally just took me out of the film. It felt like I was watching a play more than I was a movie. which isn't bad, but in this case it was, because again, it took me in and out of these moments where I would get attached to these characters, and then they will pull me out by introducing these new characters and this other aspect of this scandal in Panama. So again, the subject matter is definitely something that needs to be said and needs to be exposed to a mass audience like myself that knew nothing about it, and talks about taxes and how the wealthy have tax breaks and all the different stuff. But the way this film is structured, again, in an hour and a half, it's like an hour and 36 minutes, there wasn't enough time to tell the story, in my opinion, as far as the right way to tell the story. So at the end of the day, I applaud the acting, the directing, the dialogue at times is really great. Like there's a line in the movie by Gary Oldman that, his assistant comes in and says something bad happens, and he says that the word bad is a small word, but it has such big implications. So little lines like that really kind of tie me to the dialogue, but the structure of the story, the lack of character development, the lack of kind of settling on one story and kind of, spawning off of that instead of introducing the story and then throwing us to something else. And yes, the overall 5 chapters had to do with each other, but it just feels so disconnected. So at the end of the day, I unfortunately am going to give this film a 2.5 out of 5. I really didn't enjoy it that much because, again, I was taken out of the film during the parts that I thought could have been really emotional or really intriguing, but it just pulled you right out of it by just throwing some different story and different dialogue and different things that just didn't sit well with me. So again, great cast, great director. I'm still going to love everyone that was in this movie and continue to see their work. But this just didn't work for me at all. So 2.5 out of 5. There's a lot of stuff in the theater this weekend, whether it be Zombieland. There's other stuff on Netflix that I will be reviewing this weekend, and as well as Hulu that I'm going to check out and give you a review for that. But this is something that, if you have nothing else to do, check it out. And when you do, let me know what you thought of the film. As I said up top, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram, as well as our other social media accounts. Again, keep an eye out for some reviews that we will be having this weekend. So hit that notification bell to stay up to date with those videos. Thank you for watching this review, and we'll see you on the next video.